So Primal Season 3 wrapped up a few weeks ago, and I'd be lying if I said this season hasn't left me feeling a bit conflicted. Primal is one of my favorite animated shows in recent memory, telling a simple but powerful story while relying on very limited dialogue. Instead, pairing stellar animation with a variety of grunts, roars, and other raw sounds that really engage you in the brutal, prehistoric world. The emotional core of the show has always been the unlikely pairing between Spear and Fang, teaming up against the various threats of Mother Nature that they encounter. And so it's for this reason that the major plot decision at the end of Season 2 to kill off one of the main characters, or so it seemed at the time, just felt really puzzling to me. It seemed like a completely unnecessary writing choice, as Spear and Fang's relationship was always the heart of the show, and even with the expanding story and growing cast of characters from Season 2, losing Spear felt like it was going to leave a major void in the show going to Season 3, and it really did for me. I found myself consistently missing the interactions of Fang and Spear in Season 3. I just wasn't a huge fan of the attempt to reintroduce Spear as a sort of reanimated zombie figure throughout the season. It sort of felt like a cheap way to try to recover from a regrettable writing decision to kill Spear off in the previous season, after it might have prompted some initial backlash. There's even an interview with the show creator where he sort of admits that this could have been the case. So I just wasn't a huge fan of this writing choice to bring Spear back as this sort of zombie. I felt like a lot of the season was zombie Spear just wandering around, trying to figure out what was going on, and at times the pacing dragged a bit compared to the high-octane experience of the earlier seasons. That said, there were some interesting sequences where Spear starts to piece together his consciousness, such as those dreamlike scenes where he's hypnotized by this bug, but he can't really figure out why, but it reminds him of Fang. But these scenes were definitely missing the punch of the earlier seasons for me, and the show did lose some of the momentum and allure it had built up from Season 1 and 2. But as we approach the later part of the season, I do think the show starts to return to old form and redeem itself. And when Spear and Fang do reunite in the finale, it is pretty epic. While keeping them separated for so long was frustrating, it does make their reunion all the more satisfying and epic when they finally get back together. The finale was one of the best episodes of not just the season, but the entire show for me. It did cast the rest of the season in a better light after watching. It did recontextualize some of the earlier writing choices as building towards this epic reunion that we got in the Season 3 finale. I mean, this frame right here nearly redeemed the entire season for me. By the end of the season, I was back to really enjoying the show, and I still think at the end of the day, a smaller scale story where Fang and Sphere are battling against the various threats of nature is when Primal is at its best. I hope going in the future seasons, this will be the focus of the show, as it's what initially drew me towards Primal and made it stand out as one of the best recent animated shows that I've seen. If I had to rank the seasons up to this point, I'd have to put Season 1 up as my favorite. I just feel like it's such a simple but extremely well executed story. Season 2 would be next, as I feel like it expands the narrative and character dynamics in a meaningful way, while still keeping the core features of what Season 1 introduced. Season 3 would have to be my least favorite, as I just wasn't a huge fan of the choice to reincarnate Spear, as discussed, and I just felt like the story didn't progress much while he was gaining his consciousness back. I did find myself missing Spear and Fang being a team. What do you think? Do you agree with the choice to kill off Sphere, so to speak, and then bring him back in this kind of reincarnated form? It did make for some interesting visuals, and the show has dabbled into the supernatural before, so it doesn't feel completely unexpected, but I just felt like it took away from what initially drew me to the show, and for that reason, I wasn't a huge fan of this decision. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.